In the IELTS speaking test, you might be asked to describe something that you have recently purchased. This question would of course appear in part 2 of the test, and you would have to read the cue card carefully to know what you must do. In today's lesson, I'm going to show you what the cue card might look like and then run through some guidelines about how you could answer it. I'll also give you my own sample Band 9 answer at the end. Hopefully this will help you to describe all sorts of products and issues related to shopping. And if you want to learn about shopping and IELTS, then go to www.TED-IELTS.com and search for shopping in the search bar. There's loads of vocabulary there. First of all, it is important to realize that every IELTS cue card is slightly different, and so you cannot prepare perfectly for all of them. You need to read each cue card carefully in order to know what you must say as a response. For example, in this general area we have some of the following possibilities. Describe a product that you recently bought, describe an item of clothing that you recently bought, describe something that you bought long ago, describe a product that you bought because of an advertisement, and so on. There are many possibilities. Indeed, if we check Google, then we can see the sort of variations on this cue card that people have heard about. Today, however, we're going to look at this cue card. Describe something you have recently bought and felt happy about. You should say what you bought, why you bought it, how much it cost you, and explain why you felt happy about it. Sometimes it is quite difficult to figure out the precise meaning of a cue card, especially because you have to read it and plan your answer within just 1 minute. However, I think that this one is pretty simple. There are 3 key facts here. You must have bought it in the past, not in the future. It should be recent, not long ago, and it should have made you feel happy. Aside from that, you should aim to talk about the ideas in the bullet points. To be honest, you don't really have to talk about these, but it's a good idea. My general approach with this sort of thing is just to structure my own answer according to the main idea of the question, and then refer back to the bullet points for extra ideas in case I run out of things to talk about. Now, I'm not really a big shopper, and I don't buy many things except food, household items, and other necessities. As such, it is not easy for me to think of an answer to this question, which leaves me with 2 choices. 1, to think of something that I can exaggerate and pretend that it made me happy. Or 2, to imagine something that would have made me happy but that I didn't actually buy. For example, a few weeks ago I saw a motorcycle on a local Facebook group, and I thought about buying it, and I thought it would make me happy. This is the first thing that popped into my head, so I'd be inclined to talk about this. Of course, I would pretend that I really had bought it, as though this were a real situation. You have just 1 minute to prepare your answer, so don't waste too much time. I should stress that you shouldn't write any full sentences or long phrases because you just don't have the time. Nonetheless, it is worthwhile writing down some ideas about what you want to say. This can help alleviate your nerves or remind you of vocabulary or ideas or structure that you could use. My notes would probably look like this. These probably don't make much sense to you, but the important thing is that it would remind me of what I wanted to say. And that's really the function of the notes here. First of all, let me say that describing something is obviously going to require totally different vocabulary depending on what that something is. My imaginary motorcycle, for example, would involve totally different words to your gadget or clothing or jewelry or souvenir. The important thing to think about here is verb tense. For example, if I said, I have bought a motorcycle last week, it's not right at all. This is the present perfect, talking about something that started in the past and continues now. Of course, when you buy something, it's finished in the past, so we should use past simple, I bought a motorcycle. Verb tenses are very, very, very important if you want to score band 7 or higher. So here is my sample answer to the previous cue card. 2 weeks ago, I bought a new motorcycle. I had not been planning to buy one, but it popped up on my Facebook newsfeed because someone in a local group had listed it for sale. The bike was incredibly beautiful and also surprisingly cheap, so I bought it sort of as an impulse purchase. Where I live, people often sell things on Facebook because there is an active community of people from all around the world who have come to live here. You frequently see them selling their second-hand goods on various Facebook groups, and so I've subscribed to some of these and I buy various things from time to time. Clearly, Facebook's algorithm recognized that I paid attention to motorcycles that were for sale, and it pushed me to look at this one. As soon as I saw it, I knew it was the one for me. The thing that really convinced me was the fact that it looked exactly like a motorbike I owned 10 years ago. That bike was my favorite possession, and I was really sad when I had to suddenly sell it after just 6 months. I promised myself that if I ever saw this bike again, I would buy it no matter what. The new bike is not exactly the same, but it is similar, and that was good enough for me. In fact, some bike experts even said that this one is better than my first bike. I was a bit worried because there's a lot of crime in this area and I didn't want anyone to steal it from me, but I decided that I would have to take the risk. After buying the bike, I drove around the local area on a beautiful sunny day and it made me really feel happy. I have planned many trips with this bike, and once the rainy season ends, I will take it on several long journeys around the country. Here are some words and phrases that I used which may be of interest to you. So list for sale means to make something available for others to buy. An impulse purchase is when you buy something without planning. Second-hand goods were things that are previously owned. From time to time means occasionally. Favorite possession, I think you can guess this is the thing that you like the most. As for verb tenses, I was very careful to use them correctly. When something happened and finished in the past, I used past simple, which is the most common. However, there were some other tenses I used. I said I had not been planning to buy one. This is the past perfect continuous tense. It shows that something had happened prior to another event in the past. In this case, I was talking about my feelings about buying the bike. Using this sort of verb tense shows a fine mastery over the language and could definitely help you to get a better grammar score in IELTS speaking. Okay folks, that's today's lesson finished. Let me know what you would describe in the comments section below. And don't forget to give this video a like if you found it useful. You can also subscribe if you want more IELTS advice.